Serious, what's the worst butterfly effect that you've set off, whether on purpose or on accident? In 1971 I was in the pub with a bunch of friends talking about the following year's Olympic Games to be held in Munich. Someone suggested we should go to the Oktoberfest beer festival, and eventually 4 of us booked the holiday, drank our own weight in beer and came home with a lot of stories. A young guy who had just started coming into the pub listened to all the stories and a couple of years later went to Munich to see it for himself. Fell in love with German culture, cuisine and the ambience of the place. 20 years later, after the failure of his marriage, he went to live in Germany, hooked up with a Fräulein, and I used to visit him every year until he was killed in a car crash in 1998. And I still sometimes wonder about the effect of that first trip to Munich. For a minute I was afraid the new guy to your group was going to end up murdered by Black September. My thought too. That was a rough Olympics. One night I decided to get drunk instead of studying in college. Went out with a few friends who I convinced to go out with us. One friend meets a girl that he ends up falling in love with. So he moves out of my buddy's apartment, leaving a spot open the next year that they need to have subleased. Ends up being a girl who wants to get in this apartment. I see her a lot since she lives with my buddies. I start dating her. It leads to the worst, most destructive, manipulative 2 years of my life, where she leaves me 2 months before the wedding for another man and took all my money. Had to move back home and start my life over living with my parents. All because I wanted to get drinks one night. Just be glad you got out before you got married. I thank God every day. Seriously. Got a friend, former co-worker, a job at the office where I worked. Basically she got to from a part-time retail job to a full-time office job. Friend later turned on me, spread lies about me behind my back, tarnished my reputation, and later got me fired less than 4 months before my wedding. Most of the people I worked with were invited to the wedding and other events related to the wedding, and very few, except my closer friends, came because of the awkwardness. I guess you could also file this under no good deed goes unpunished. That's fucked up. Why and how did she fuck up your career like that? I sent my wife's lover's chat log and hotel receipts to his mother. Thanks Facebook, they live 2,000 miles from us, and after doing some digging into him, when I found out, I realized that his mother was supporting him and his wife and 3 children. He's 44 years old. His mom kicked him out, but let his wife and kids stay. His wife divorced him. I divorced my wife. Now he's living in his car. I'm not even upset about it. FK my wife. F your life. Amazing his mom let his wife stay. He's a serial cheater, playboy, fuckboy at 44 years old. I think grandma just wants to make sure the children are okay. I'm a big fan of this theory, as I believe a lot of major incidents can be traced back to one defining choice or action. A bad one that jumps out to the front of my brain. I was studying in college pre-university in the UK, when a classmate suggested I join a sort of social networking website dedicated to meeting people who will be going to the same university as you. I joined and became friends with a really lovely girl. We got talking and everything about her ticked all the right boxes, or at least to 19-year-old me. Fast forward a few months. We are both at uni and dating. We had our ups and downs, but they were very extreme ups and downs. I hated my course I was on, product design, and applied to another university to study architecture, something I always wanted to do, but I stupidly got cold feet as it meant I would have to move away and I didn't want to leave her, so I rejected their offer. We broke up shortly after and had a very messy and public breakup, along with having to see her get with a friend that I sort of knew had a thing for her, along with rumors going round that I hit her, which I didn't. So I'm 99.99% if I never had that conversation with my classmate, I wouldn't have joined that website. I wouldn't have met my ex. I would have gone to a different university and my life would be very different right now. That's mad. I decided to go to a strip club after work one day at like 5 PM on a Friday by myself because I was a creep and unhappy, I guess. I get in and I think there was like 2 other patrons there. I sat down in between 2 dancers and the one on my left said hi because she was bored. We ended up talking and immediately hit it off. She's crazy smart, beautiful, and funny. We end up getting a dance because, like I said, I'm a creep. Afterwards when we finish, she jokes that this will be a funny story to tell our grandkids. Fast forward I guess 6 years now, she graduated college and has an amazing job. We've been married for 3 years and just bought a house. No kids yet, but life is really good and I'm really happy. We both kind of saved each other from where we were heading. Op said worse, damn it. Outta here with your endearing and cute story. Oh, and congrats. Eating junk food almost every night when I was 11 and it stopped until I was 14. I was left with rolls and man breasts and it killed my confidence throughout high school. Did you manage to turn it all around? I started drinking a lot of water when I was hungry and ate healthy snacks like cereal or fruit when I was hungry late at night. I got skinny but I had restricted my calories too much, did too much cardio, had no weight training and I ended up skinny fat. I'm still skinny fat, just not as bad as it was but I still feel uncomfortable. Agreed. I have a foursome with my then boyfriend and 2 people he didn't know but I knew. Didn't go well. He ended up leaving me for them. Thruples are wild. I moved across the country for a job I probably would have turned down if we weren't single. He ended up breaking up their 4-year relationship. Because of one weird drunken night I started a different career. He ended what could have been a marriage. One of the guys is now engaged to someone else and the 4th person deleted all social media and got fat. Well, you certainly were the winner of the whole situation. This kid used to bully me in school so I complained to my mom who took it up with the principal. Apparently this wasn't the first complaint and he had been kicked out of his previous school for the same reason. However, it turns out that he's my dad's boss kid and the dad for some weird ass reason decides to take revenge by stopping my dad's promotion multiple times. Dad takes up another job but he has to move to another city while we stay back because stability. Dad has an extramarital affair there. Mom finds out. It's an absolute shit show in my house for the next 3 years. My parents hate each other's guts but refuse to divorce because codependency and societal pressure. I spent those 3 years breaking up their fights and trying to talk reason into their thick skulls while also managing the household and my studies. Anyway, I've got depression and anxiety now, all because I couldn't suck up and take some bullying as a kid. Imao. Dude, literally everyone was a fuck up in that situation except you. Texted my batshit crazy ex that we should hook up sometime cause I was home alone and drunk stoned. Well, she responded a few minutes later saying sure and she took the train up to my place. We hooked up all night, multiple times and not gonna lie it was a ton of fun. That was a Friday night. On Monday she texted me she was pregnant and sent me a pic of an ultrasound and 3 positive pregnancy tests. Well, I called her out on her shit. That was a blatant lie and there was no way she was pregnant that soon and it would not show up on a test that quick and I wore protection and was too drunk to finish each time. Well, this was her ploy to get back with me and it backfired hard on her and sent her into this downward spiral and she ended up in a mental ward for a few days. Sounds like you dodged a pretty fucking lethal bullet there, bud. More like a tank shell rather than a bullet. Had an abusive girlfriend when I was 18. Naive me didn't realize that was a thing, especially from a woman. Not physical, emotionally, and then exploited that to basically steal from me. I made a lot for an 18-year-old at the time. Got engaged to said girlfriend. One of my co-workers kinda saw what was going on and found out she was banging one of his friends. He told me. I got upset, punched a plywood wall, broke my hand, told her to fuck off and cut off anything that tied me to her. I moved to a different city. Being there completely changed my outlook on life for the better. Went to school. Have a pretty damn good paying job and I don't take shit from anyone anymore. If my co-worker didn't decide to be a bro, things would be probably much worse for me. Don't be that dick that goes and tells someone that they're being cheated on. Seriously, that's a dick move if you keep that to yourself. Good for you. Hope your hand is okay. And is your co-worker still a friend? Just found out yesterday that friend of mine slept with my now ex-GF while we were on our break. All of my friends knew. I was still fighting for the relationship back then. The breakup was horrible. Seriously, I lost my father at 8 years old and this is up there. Still, I managed to do pretty good for a couple of months but hearing about this made me go on a fetal position again for 13 hours straight today. Haven't eaten in 33 hours. I'm just disgusted by everything. ATM. Told my older sister and her friend that I can predict the future as a joke. They thought it would be fun to know their future. I predicted for my sister's friend that she will lose a lot of weight, she was obese, and that she will ditch her boyfriend because she will think she can do better now and then marry a British guy. She's Lebanese and never been to Britain. Told my sister that she will immigrate to Canada. Meet a guy whose family used to live in our hometown and then they will get married. Fast forward few years. My sister's friend did a gastric bypass surgery and lost a lot of weight. Dumped her boyfriend and met a British guy teaching in the same school and then got married. My sister applied to Canada and got the immigration. Met a guy whose family lived in the same hometown as we used to and then they got married. To this day I wonder if he did predict the future or if it was just an effect of what I said to them. Edit. Not a bad butterfly effect, but I thought it's worth sharing. If you enjoyed watching this video, please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to our channel for more video updates.